Hi, it's Wilma. Welcome to a new video. Today's video is basically going to be an art vlog, but not really, because it's mostly just me making art in this video. I recently went back to school. I'm in my second semester of college, and I'm just gonna be discussing a little bit of that in this video. Talk about art classes and just like school, I guess, and art and fun stuff, hopefully. I do two things in my sketchbook in this video. I do a shark spread, which turned out super cute, and then I do a portrait, which also turned out super cute. And I hope that you'll enjoy those, because I really enjoyed making both of them. But yeah, it's just gonna be like a very chill video, and yeah, hope you'll enjoy it, and let's get into it. Bye. Hi guys, today is August 30th, which means that it's the day before school starts for me. So this is kind of like my official last day of summer, even though summer isn't actually over, but it kind of feels like it to me because school's starting, and that's like the end of all the fun, summer fun. But yeah, anyway, it's my last day before school, and I'm kind of just like relaxing today. I'm currently working on some art. I'm doing a portrait, which I haven't done for so long. Or it's not like, I mean, it is a portrait, but it's not like the actual face. It's just like shot from behind. A little bit of side profile action. Anyway, I'm just like having a relaxing last day before school starts. And I was feeling a little bit nervous about going back to school, but today I feel okay. The only thing that's like gonna suck, I guess, is the fact that I won't have as much time to make art. And my first semester of college was a little bit hectic. There was a lot of assignments, but I feel like I still was able to create a lot of art, or maybe not a lot of art, but I was able to somewhat keep it up. So I guess I'm not too worried about that stuff. But yeah, I do have some art classes coming up. My major is art related, so at least I'll still be able to do art when I'm at school, which is fun. But it's not gonna be like the type of art that I make here. But yeah, I'm just gonna enjoy my last day before school. I got a Coke here. I'm making some art, listening to music, and just taking it all in. My last day before my second semester of college. But yeah, time to go continue making art. Hello and welcome to me drawing hammerhead sharks as I discuss some current life updates, school, and other things. As I'm experiencing a lot of new things in life right now, in a fairly new environment, I want to document how I feel about it, to save the thoughts and experiences as I'm having them in present time. So I recently went back to school for my second semester of college as an international student in the US. I haven't mentioned yet what my major is, so I thought that I would talk about that and how doing more art-focused classes have been for me. So to give some backstory and valuable information before we jump into the gist of things, I'm a 24-year-old self-taught artist. Although I don't necessarily love the title self-taught, as it can sound quite pretentious, and is there really such a thing as being self-taught? That's a topic for a different day though. Anyway, I have been making art for a big portion of my life, but I have been taking it more seriously now for about 5 to 6 years. At the very end of 2022, I moved from Sweden to the US, and I'm pursuing an education in computer graphics, which I believe is the same thing as graphic design. Having this major means that I must take classes like animation, illustration, and other art-related things like basic drawing and art history. In my first semester of college, I had to take some prerequisite classes, so I didn't have any art-related classes that semester. I have also not had art classes previously in life, unless you count the art classes I did in middle school, which I don't feel like taught me a lot, if anything. So this very much feels like the first art classes I'm having in life. And as I mentioned before, I have already been making art for many years, so I have a lot of experience with it. I believe that anyone can go to school to learn more about art though, whether you've done it for years or you have little to no experience. It's all relevant. So when I graduated high school 5 years ago, I told myself that I would never go back to school. I never enjoyed school much, and it was always seen as a primarily negative thing to me. But as the years went on and I had some distance from it, I realized that school could be fun if I did something that I enjoyed, and I decided that I wanted to get a degree in something creative. But I also knew that although I wanted it to be creative, I wanted to learn new things. So that's why I decided to go with computer graphics, because I'd learn about new things to me, such as animation, which I have never done before. The only art-related classes I have right now in my second semester of college are art history and basic drawing. So let's start by briefly talking about art history. I'm sure there's mixed opinions on art history. Some people find it super boring, while others find it super interesting. For me, I'm a mix between both. I'm at the very beginning of art history, which in other words means that I'm learning about paintings on rocks, cave paintings, and pyramids. It's been a lot of information that is hard to digest, and it hasn't been super interesting to me all the time. But despite this, I still enjoy taking this class, and seeing art throughout history is both very encouraging and interesting. It's encouraging because it makes me feel like my art has more of a purpose. It reminds me that art is an ancient thing that humans have been doing for so long, and sometimes it's hard to see the purpose of art when I'm making it myself. So having the reminder that it's something that humans have done for a long time, and the fact that it's something that is valued throughout history, is super cool and encouraging. The next class I want to discuss is my basic drawing class. So far I have only had one basic drawing class, so I can't say too much about my experience with it. But I can talk about what my expectations were with it, and how my first class went. So just based off the name, I won't deny that I had somewhat of a negative first impression. In my head, basic drawing means the stuff that I learned years ago. So I wasn't too fond of the idea of having to do basic drawing. Now that I have had my first class though, I can say that it was a lot more fun than what I had anticipated. We did a still life drawing for the very first class, and I thoroughly enjoyed that. Still life is not something I do frequently, but when I do, I always find it enjoyable. So yeah, school has been going well. I'm very tired and I have been doing a lot of studying, but as I'm at an older age now compared to in high school, I find doing assignments and homework a lot more fun, and it feels like I'm gaining a lot of beneficial things from it. Not to mention, the dopamine kick that I get from submitting an assignment is like no other. Now I'm gonna do a complete 180 and change the topic to talk about the drawing that I did. So, as you may or may not know, I love sharks and I've really been enjoying drawing animals lately. I did another shark spread before this one earlier in my sketchbook, and once I had done that one, I knew that I wanted to do another one. On the previous shark spread that I did a mix of a few species. This one is purely dedicated to hammerhead sharks. I find them so cool. The shape of their faces is so interesting to me. I also just love animals that are in the water, sharks, fish, whales. They are so fascinating and they are so much fun to draw. When I did the spread of these hammerhead sharks, I was watching a program about them and I realized that I didn't know a lot about them. I don't know why, but I thought that hammerhead sharks weren't that big in size. Turns out that the longest hammerhead shark ever recorded was 20 feet long, which is 6.1 meters. That is just crazy to me. Anyway, I love these creatures so much, and it's not the last time you will see me making art of one. I used colored pencils to draw these sharks, and I found that to be a really fun technique to use for this subject. I decided to paint the background green because I've really been wanting a variation of different colored backgrounds in my sketchbook, and I think it turned out really well, and I'm super happy with this spread. Hi guys! Today is the 31st of August. I had my first day of school today. This is my second semester in college. I don't know if I've mentioned that already. But yeah, today was the first day. It went pretty well. I had 3 classes. I had math and then I had art history, which was interesting. I've never had art history before. Last time I had an art class in school was literally when I was like 15, and I haven't had a lot of art classes really in my life. So that was really interesting. I literally have homework where I have to analyze a piece of art and like talk about the things in the art piece, which is kind of crazy. Like I can't believe that's what I'm doing, because I love art and it's just like a pleasure for me to do that. And then I had an English class. It was pretty good first day. I was definitely a bit nervous, just like you are when it's the first day, but it went well. Afterwards, I rewarded myself with a coffee and I bought a new book. I got this one, People We Meet on Vacation by Emily Henry. I'm sure most of you have heard of it before. I read one of her books like a few months ago. I read Beach Read and I thought it was really cute. So I was like, I want to read more of her stuff because I really enjoyed the way that she wrote. But yeah, I just wanted to update you all and say that I had had my first day of school and it went well. I'm still alive. I do have kind of a bit of a headache and I'm tired, but I'm alive and that's what matters. So I'm gonna go make some art now. I'm probably not gonna do any homework today because I have a 4-day weekend, so I have plenty of time to do whatever I need to do. So I think I'm gonna go make some art for a little bit and then I'm just gonna freaking relax. I wanted to show you guys my new shirt. Got it from Target. It's a Spider-Man Venom shirt and it's adorable and I freaking love it. So next up, I have this portrait that I did to show you. Portraits have been something that I've been doing less frequently lately. And if you've seen any of my recent videos, you'd know that that is because I've been looking to gain more knowledge on drawing other subjects. But as I hadn't drawn many portraits for a few months, I had a really strong desire to make one again. So of course, that's what I did. Since doing art always feels the best when you're doing the things that you feel passionate about and have a genuine desire to draw. This reference photo had been sitting in my camera roll for a while, and I knew that once I'd get back to drawing portraits again, this photo would be one that I would draw. It's a royalty-free photo found from Kanyo on Telegram. I love the composition of the photo and how the face is barely visible, yet there are still enough facial features in the side profile to make it interesting. I also love the position of the hand and the hair clip in the hair. Everything about this photo is just very pleasing to me, and it was so much fun to draw it. Before I started this drawing, I was scared that it was going to be hard to do. I hadn't drawn a portrait for a while and I wasn't sure if the reference photo was going to be difficult, proportion-wise, since the hand as well as the hair are both very prominent, and when I do portraits, that is usually not the case. But it turned out to not be a problem at all. I was able to sketch the outline with ease, and I didn't really face any struggles with this piece, which isn't very common for me. There's usually something that I find difficult when doing portraits, and proportions are not the easiest thing to get right. But I think it might have been less difficult for me with this one because the photo is shot from the back and not the front, which means that I didn't have to spend a lot of time trying to line up the eyes to match perfectly with each other and all that other stuff that you have to do when drawing a portrait and doing proportions. I decided to use colored pencils for this drawing because, as I've mentioned before, I really enjoy doing skin tones with them. I have a lot of different shades of colored pencils, which means that I get a lot of variation of color in the skin tone, which I think looks very nice. Drawing a portrait again felt so good. Although I have really been enjoying doing art of other subjects lately, like animals, etc., I truly love doing portraits, and capturing human expression and the human form is so much fun. I started this drawing right before I went back to school, and I was working on it during that first week of school, and it felt nice to have something that is so familiar to me, and a comfort thing for me to draw amidst the chaos that is the first week of school nerves. The pose in the photo is also unlike any portrait I've done before. I love to do side profiles, but I don't know if I would fully consider this one a side profile. Either way, I found it super refreshing to draw a portrait in a pose that I hadn't done before. I also just love the pose in general, and I find it very satisfying. When I was in the process of drawing this piece, I kept thinking of what I wanted to do for the background to bring the piece together. In the past, I've done a lot of portraits with blank backgrounds, but I started to feel like that lacked personality, especially because before I started leaving my backgrounds blank, I would do a lot of colorful and interesting backgrounds, and I was really missing that. So in the end, I decided that I wanted to do a colorful background, and it felt really good and like I was back in 2019 because that's basically the backgrounds I did back then. I absolutely loved drawing this portrait for the reasons that I've already stated. The pose of the person is great. I loved drawing the skin tones. I wasn't really faced with any struggles. I enjoyed doing the background, and I love how the whole thing came together, as well as the end results. It was one of those drawing experiences that I wish I could have every time I make art. And with all of that said, I am going to end the video here. I hope you enjoyed seeing all of the art that I made in this video, and I hope that you enjoyed listening to me talk. I think I might try to do a few videos in the future that are a little bit more school related. I'm probably gonna show you guys the stuff that I'm doing in my basic drawing class. So yeah, I'm excited about that. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the video, and hopefully I will see you in the next one. Bye guys.